Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Two Psychics. This is Michael Edley, evidential medium and mystic, discussing all things spiritual.
Hello, I'm Mary Amy of Two Psychics, an intuitive wisdom coach, tapping into your mystical life and sharing messages I receive about you.
Good evening, Michael Edley, psychic medium here. Such a pleasure to be with all of you on this beautifully sunny, I think it's still 83 or 84 degrees here at the Jersey Shore. Summer in full effect. I think we have the summer solstice, if I could speak correctly tonight, the summer solstice starting along with that beautiful strawberry moon. A lot of cool stuff is manifesting, and I would say this is a great period for releasing the old and what does not serve us, open those new pathways and those new beginnings. What's up, Mary Amy? How are you?
Hi, Michael. How are you? Coming live from New York on this beautiful June evening. I'm doing fantastic. I have so much to share about some personal experiences I had last weekend.
Yeah, you did a sweat lodge, right? Sweat lodge last weekend?
I did. And do you remember episode 18? We had Alexandra LeClaire, and she is an author, a medium, and energy healer, and she is the director at the New Dawn Foundation in New Rochelle, New York. And she invited me to the sweat lodge. And I had no idea what I was getting into. Okay, it was.
Share.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Got there at 10 a.m., not knowing that you have all this preparation, so you really don't go into the sweat lodge till 3 in the afternoon. You have to make prayer ties, and you do a pipe ceremony, and you are. They're heating up the rocks. I don't know if you've ever done a sweat lodge, Michael.
I've done not like an official authentic one like that, but the gym I used to belong to had a little, sweat room, and they would do the hot rocks, but that was about the extent of it. Nothing. I'm sure it was like what you did.
It was insane. There was about eight of us, and they had all done this before, and I had no idea. They set this up, and they put tarps over this it's not a building. It looks like a dome, and they cover it. It's branches, and they cover it, and there's no visible light.
So almost like the Indian teepee kind of thing, or
no, it's not
like
a teepee.
an igloo?
It's like round on top, so it's half a dome.
Huh. Okay.
So in the center is this fire pit, and they heat these rocks, these very large rocks, and you each pick a rock, and then there's a whole ceremony to present the rocks to the different north, south, east, west, to the earth, to the spirit, and you heat the rocks for 3 hours, and you put them in the center, and then they open up. They have 4 doors, so they open up to the outside world 4 times. And so it was pitch black. It was very hot in there. And when I heard you can't leave to go to the bathroom, that was it. That was the killer. That was the end of all for me. And no, I'm not kidding. I didn't last very long. I only last a few minutes because it threw me back into my near-death experience.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say as soon as they told you you couldn't go to the bathroom or use the bathroom, that's when you start thinking about having to go to the bathroom, and then the mind plays on you.
It was way more traumatic. I said, I got to get out of here. And I started going through the memory. And then I started practically screaming. If they said you can't leave, I would have tore apart somehow this structure that was very well put together. And there's even rocks holding down the tarp for the entrance. And so and they said, you can't go straight across. You're going to step on the rocks. And I dashed out of there, and then I cried a lot. But I have to tell you, I was really frustrated with myself. I put a lot of shame on myself. How could I do this? I got out. I'm weak. And a million things went through my mind. All of the times I went to therapy and healers and speech coaches, and I was just really hard on myself. But I got to get to the other side of it, which I never have. And since then, yesterday and today have been like the best days of my life, because whatever was going on with me, that was the experience I was supposed to have. And the best thing I could have done was leave, because I wasn't comfortable. So I just want to say, hands off to Alexandra LeClaire. I'm going to probably go and be on the outside of the Sweat Lodge, so I receive the energy, because it's right on the water, but I'm not going to ever probably enter the Sweat Lodge. Now, Alexandra LeClaire is going to come back as a guest in July with her first book, Seeing the Dead, Talking with Spirits. Is that okay?
Yeah, totally cool.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got all kinds of things running around my head about the Sweat Lodge. So, question. So, What is the whole purpose? Is it to like relive or go through an experience or a transition, or like the whole premise and the purpose of going? Because obviously you have a different, a whole different group of people there. And is every person there for their own reason? Is it a combined joint effort of like releasing what does no longer serve you, or like what's the whole premise of the Sweat Lodge?
Well, I can't speak for other people. I can base it on what my observations were. By the way, everyone, tonight is Two Psychics, episode 21, Fire Elements of Nature, June 20th, 2024. Just wanted to say that. I believe it was related to the spirit world. It was related to releasing, which is what I did do. I released stuff that was attached to me. And even though I wasn't in the Sweat Lodge, the fact that I processed mentally, I literally cried. It's 3 hours they're in there. And they only open the tarp 4 times, and it's literally for 1 minute to put more hot rocks or to give a feather or something like that. And it was a great experience, even though it maybe wasn't the original, authentic experience I was supposed to have, which was to be in the dark, in the heat. But I did hear a lot of what was going on, and I think it is about, based on what Alexandra says, it's about seeing things. You're supposed to keep your eyes open. You see, faces or spirit animals, or the old myth is that you're basically shedding. It's kind of shamanic, right? That you're shedding some kind of dark side, or you're coming to grips with your fears, which I think I did. I recommend it. Something related to it.
Yeah, that's what I find so fascinating, because when I was up in Lilydale, New York, at the time I was up there, fabulous spiritual community, up in upstate New York. If anyone hasn't had a chance to go out there, I would highly suggest it. At least, spend the day there. It's a phenomenal community. All based around, mediumship, psychic abilities, energy healing. They have a phenomenal healing temple where I experienced very, very profound healing in that temple personally with my back when I had some serious back stuff going on. But the interesting thing is, you talk about, the basically almost like that vision quest type experience that the shamanic practitioners would do when they would go into that, that steam hut, that smoke house. It's basically like a sensory deprivation, and it's something that in mediumship practice will also go into that sensory deprivation, into like a blackened room, blackened closet where all your senses are cut out, and you have to completely focus on your clair abilities and what comes through. And it almost, it's almost like some kind of covert training that we go through. And I would say probably Navy SEALs and Rangers and, that type of special force type ability go through similar things where it's sensory deprivation. And I'm sure that smoke causes a sense of sensory deprivation also, very similar to the medium going into the, the darkened closet, that isolation booth. And that's what a lot of it does. It's supposed to bring up, it pushes you towards being aware of what's going to be going on in that darkened night of a soul if you're going through that or you're experiencing that, or things that are no longer serving us, or our own self-limiting beliefs, things that are stifling and holding us back. And through that sensory deprivation, it's supposed to open that connection. So very interesting that you experienced that, and that being your first time going in and experiencing it so quickly. I find it very fascinating. So yeah,
Well,
we definitely have to
I think it was.
I'll have to do my own research into it because I find it very, very intriguing.
Well, what's so strange is I was only in there for a few minutes. Like literally, she went through the process of what we were going to endure, and we were sitting in there, and I was fine as long as I could see. As soon as you put me in the dark, and the smoke was blowing in my eyes, I had my contact lenses in, and then they were hitting on the drum. They were drumming and all kinds of tambourines, and it just was too much for me. But what happened was, so interesting is I laid next to the sweat lodge, and I did hear up until they got to prayers, which was, I laid there for over an hour and a half, and I have now like razor focus clarity. I have more confidence than I've ever had. I see myself, and it was like I had to go to complete acceptance of who I was, and actually it made me more powerful. So something definitely changed in a huge way. So, and it was because I had those few minutes in there and what kind of, I guess, trauma it connected to.
Yeah, no, that's pretty. It sounds like a pretty wild story. It's very interesting, and I find it very interesting, like what you talked about, and some of the similarities, and almost like that shamanic vision quest, and how it kind of correlates to the mediumship development, going into like that isolation booth and cutting the senses or changing the senses, and also you're talking about the pulse of the drums, and in like mediumship, they'll try to do that binaural link, that hemisync connecting the right and left hemisphere to unify them and open up that awareness. So it's very interesting. Yeah, no. I think we might have to research that or get into some of the shamanic aspects of that vision quest and those type of things in a future episode. So I think that might be something really cool for us to get into.
Well, you're always welcome to come here and go to the New Dawn Foundation. She does them every month, and a bunch of the people that were in there with me do it every month with her. They
wow.
do the
okay.
whole thing. And they came out, and then they all jumped in the water like they were, baptizing, because they literally were sweating and dehydrated. And I guess they all love it. They love it. They swear by it. She does actually do also a vision quest, and what's entailed with that is you don't eat for 4 days.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're really going through it, fasting, and I've seen the benefits of fasting and cleansing out your system. I want to do it a little more often. I always feel better coming out of like a fast. Initially, it's a little rough to do, but yeah, that's pretty wild. So she takes them on a vision quest, and 4 days of no eating prior. Man, right now I have a hard time with that. I feel like I'm eating nonstop, but that's a different story. So anyway, Mary Amy. No, that's
okay.
really cool.
Well, that
what else we got going on?
I got all caught up. I am doing so personally. I'm working on another book because I have the Dream Journal, I have the White Light Prophecies, and I have the children's book. Now I'm working on a book related to being a contactee for angels and extraterrestrials. And was there anything else? I guess other beings. So I'm working on that. I can talk a little bit about what's going on tonight in some future episodes if anyone wants to listen.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay. So tonight we're going to cover the 5 elements of nature: water, fire, air, wind, and ether. I am going to do a light visualization. We're going to take call-ins. So the number is 515-605-9866. I want to hear all about what you're doing. I know if anyone wants, Michael's website is michaeledley.com. Mine is maryamyofficial.com. Upcoming episodes. We have June 27th, Jilly Clark and Angelic Channeler. She's a starseed and lightworker. She's lovely. And we have July 11th, Rick Relez, a Bigfoot investigator, expeditioner. And he goes on weekends. He heads and leads weekends into the wild to make contact with Bigfoot, who I believe is an extraterrestrial too. And that's it. Would you like to share anything upcoming with you? And then I'll get into the 5 elements of nature.
Yes, well, anyone that wants to find me for a private reading, a small gathering, group readings, any type of events, you can find me on Facebook, Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley, or you can go to my website, michaeledley.com. A couple cool events that there's still tickets available to. So next week, Wednesday the 26th, have a big psychic event going on at the Garden State Distillery. You could jump onto my Facebook page. The link will be, pinned to the top there if you go through my latest events. So next week at the Garden State Distillery on the 26th, got a psychic event, really cool event where you can experience a little bit of Reiki, a little bit of readings, and it's a real good night. Let's see. After that, we have another big event at the Captain's Inn. That is in July. What is that? July 24th. And again, that's another psychic night, readings and Reiki. We got that going on. I do have a mediumship gallery coming up. So there is a mediumship gallery coming up too. Be down in South Jersey, where I think I'm in that Barnegat, Manahawkin area. So definitely jump onto my page if you want to check out what I do live. You could see it live. If you want to get a one-on-one reading or a small group reading, I have all that available, but I am booking up really quick. So if you want to get that private reading, schedule it now. All right. And that's pretty much the bulk of it. Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley on Facebook, michaeledley.com. You there, Mary Amy? Or am I still supposed to be talking about my stuff? Mary Amy may be on with a caller. Hey. Oh. All right. Guys, Mary Amy is trying to get back on, so I'm just going to keep talking a little bit. Not sure, it's that crazy electronic stuff that disconnects us, and I guess that's another thing that's going on tonight with the 2 psychics, is Mary Amy has not disconnected one of you callers. She has disconnected herself. So what is going on? Yeah, so if anyone wants to see me local, that's the best way to find me. Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley on Facebook or michaeledley.com. So tonight's episode, what we are talking about, now most people are used to and familiar with the 4 elements. We are actually speaking about the 5 elements. Now, typically, when we're talking about the elements, it's what we are made of, what are the fundamentals of this planet, all the life on this planet, all the structures around us, nature, the earth, the heavens, all that we are made of, all that we come from, all that we are, and all that surrounds us. Now this goes very far back into ancient cultures, from the Greek traditions, Tibetan monks, India. You saw pretty extensive talk about the elements through a lot of ancient cultures. Mali, India, Tibet, Angola, Greece were some of the real big ones, and a lot of what would be listed into their local language, air, the word air, the word wind, and the word space. And the word space had represented the 5th element. So when we talk about the first 4 initial classical elements, earth, water, air, and fire, now the later is the ether. Now the ether, a lot of ancient cultures looked at that as space in one aspect, the space around us, the existence of what we can't see, but encompasses all the space around us, or spirit. So depending on how it was interpreted and how that interpretation went, some interpretations described that ether, that 5th element, as space. Some described it as spirit. And I think that's an aspect that we have to look at. We're looking at the physical conditions around us, the physical things that affect us, the earth, the water, the air, the fire, but we can't discredit, and we have to talk about the ether. We have to talk about the space, the spirit, the matter around us that we can't see, that encompasses so much of the information that we process, but we don't even realize it. So much that we could attune to and become aware to, and that will shift and change our complete purpose and understanding and realization of all that's around us and our relationship to all that's around us. So, and I think Mary Amy still trying to get back on? What do you guys think? Should we start taking a bet of what she did? So, unfortunately, she is the one that would take callers, guys. So, I would say still try to call in if you want to call in, but I can't tell you who's calling in or what number they're calling from because I don't see any of that. I'm just hoping that all of you out there can still hear me. I think you can. So, I'm just going to keep talking. And if not, well, then I talked a lot, but that's nothing new, right? So let's talk about this aspect of the ether around the other additional elements, that spiritual realm, that spiritual world. I think the first way to start understanding and realizing the complexity and the relationship we have with this ether, this space, this spiritual realm, the fifth element, is understanding that we are a spiritual being. We are a spiritual being having a human existence. And that is the first step of it. We are a soul. The soul inhabits this body. And I think part of the human experience is trying to shift and allow the soul to harness and utilize the body for its highest and best good. And that's when we start manifesting the positive things. That's when, a lot of the turmoil around the human body will subside. A lot of the anxiety, a lot of that type of trauma and grieving around loss, around feeling less than, around self-limiting beliefs, around a lot of that. As we start to shift and as we start to step into that spiritual realm, that understanding we are a soul, we are a spirit having a human existence, that's when the shift starts to happen. So step one is that realization that in this mix of elements, in this mix of this reality that we're living amongst the earth, the water, the air, the fire, there is the ether, there is the spiritual. And when we go back into ancient cultures, I'm hearing a little bit of something that sounds like a robe. Is that you? Is that you, Mary Amy? Sounding like R2-D2?
Oh my God! Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I'm glad everyone can keep hearing me and I didn't get disconnected.
Anymore.
So we were just talking a little bit about the classic elements of earth, water, air, and fire, and talking about that fifth element and that shift to the ether. And in some cultures, when they had discerned and tried to define the ether, some had defined it as the word space. Some cultures had defined it as spirit, and basically just talking about that unknown realm around us that we experience, we interact with on a daily basis. We are a spiritual being having a human existence and connecting to that realm of ether in relationship to the other four elements can empower us and can benefit us in so many different ways. And tuning into that, that intuitive guidance is part of that etheric, spiritual connection and the psychic abilities and understanding our auric systems and the energy fields and how they affect each other. But so what's going on? What's going on in the Blog Talk space realm out there?
I guess it's typical because when you put two psychics together with technology, if it's not one thing or another, and everyone's probably used to it, but at least there's no popping tonight, and I came back. Can I share with you what I found out about the five elements?
Yeah, so let's hear your take on it, which everyone probably should have heard before my take on it, but it's all good.
That's
yeah,
okay.
let's do it.
It's all good. You know what? That's the way it was supposed to go. It was whatever
Exactly.
was meant to be.
I'm sure your interpretation is going to be much better than mine.
No, I don't think so. I am fascinated by ether, and I remember hearing about ether when I was much younger, and then I heard it was something very negative because they really did not want to shed light on it. They did not want us to realize what ether was because ether is very powerful. But let me share with you what I found out. The universal theory of creation, everything created with these elements. Many schools of thought, some say, for example, there's 8 elements: ether, air, earth, fire, mercury, salt, sulfur, and water. The Greek believe there's 5 elements: ether, air, earth, fire, and water. The Chinese 5 elements, earth, fire, metal, water, and wood. The Japanese, air, earth, fire, void, water. The Hindu and the Buddhists believe there's 5, akasha, water, earth, wind, air. The Tibetan, air, earth, fire, and water. Now, the interconnection and balance of these elements maintains harmony in nature and life. And the 5 elements that I did some research on are earth, water, fire, ether, and air. So earth is related to our root chakra. I speak about the root chakra at the base of your spine, and I say during a visualization, put all your weight in your bottom and focus on your root chakra and ground yourself to the earth. Well, the root chakra is basically the sense of being for the earth, survival, support, stability. Earth, as we know it, is solid matter in the universe. It's heavy and stable. It brings balance and the foundation of life and renewal. It's the soil and land hosting living things. Earth is the land surface of the world, also the name of the 3rd planet from the sun, as we know it, Earth. Now, water represents creativity, flow, sensuality, pleasure, and renewal. It's related to the sacral chakra, the 2nd chakra, and it is cleansing, nourishing, sustaining. Water connects us to feelings and emotions. It's the flow of the vast oceans. An inorganic compound with the chemical formula H2O. It's tasteless, odorless, colorless, and transparent. It's the main constituent of Earth's hydrosphere and fluids of organisms and vital for life. Now, water covers 70.8% of the Earth's crust. Moving to fire. Am I a fire sign? I have to look it up. Confidence, motivation, discipline is the 3rd chakra, the solar plex chakra. It's self, purpose, inspiration, energy, personal identity, transformation, inner strength, motivation. Now, fire is a spark, and it brings light. It transforms heat. It's a chemical change that releases heat, light, and a flame. Air is related to the heart chakra, and I speak about the heart center. And it's the 4th chakra, love, compassion, awareness. It's your boundaries, it's your balance, it's your thoughts. Air is life, and it's the breath. Air is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. It's a mixture of gases, nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, neon, helium, and other gases, the atmosphere of moisture and particulate matter. And the last one that I want to recognize, ether. And it's associated with the throat chakra, spacious, open-minded, and universal consciousness. It's our truth and its communication. Ether governs space inside our body and space inside ourselves, the boundless providing room for existence and other elements. Ether can be spelled A-E-T-H-E-R or E-T-H-E-R. It fills space and supports the propagation of electromagnetic waves, the material that fills the region of the universe beyond. It's the space between the solid dome of the sky and below the transparent mists of the earth-bound air. It's our heavenly air. It's a universal substance that acts as the medium of transmission of electromagnetic waves. It's weightlessness, transparent, frictionless, undetectable chemically or physically, permeating all matter and space. There you go. You there?
I am here. That's good stuff.
Yes, and I am fascinated with ether because I had researched Tartaria, which they say was this civilization that was taken out of our history, and allegedly, and if you look into Nikola Tesla, he speaks about ether. It is a way to create free energy because you connect the ether with water, the earth, and you can create and metals and precious metals like copper, and you can create free energy.
Yeah, and it's interesting that etheric state, when they say that's where the spiritual realm will connect to, like when the spiritual realm, the heavenly realms are trying to lower their vibration, and like me as a medium is trying to raise my vibration with the sitter, it's almost like that etheric connection before it goes to a soul-soul connection, because ideally as a medium, that's the strongest connection you're going to have. It's blending of the souls, and it's a soul-to-soul connection. But in the process of making that connection, initially I think the ether and the etheric connection in that free-moving electric system that's out there and that's around us, it helps bind and connect. I do believe that, and I think I've experienced that here and there, connecting to other, to others' guides and others' collectives at some point before I would make it a soul-to-soul connection. But so there's definitely something to that. The interesting thing too is a lot of ancient cultures, when they looked at the elements, they felt like elements had certain qualities. And if you make it into a chart like a north-south, like a compass, air would be on top, earth would be on the bottom, like south. To the east would be fire, to the west would be water. So if you make that compass, and they say, the air fire is more of a masculine and more of an active energy, where the water earth is more of a feminine and a passive energy. And then there's also moist and cold. There's a moist and dry. There's a cold and warm aspect to this, and these different qualities they would combine depending on what your energy is and what will help you positively manifest, or what you can positively influence depending on the elemental qualities of those around you, your environment, what you're coming in contact with, what's the makeup of what you're wearing, the environment you're in, your living space, what you're eating, what is that derived from, how are you breathing? I mean, there are many different aspects of that, and it would all correspond with that warm and cold, that moist and dry, and masculine and feminine, active and passive energies. And they had a whole system that they would use that would guide you towards ascending throughout the spiritual realm and then descending back into the earthly realm. So it was a very, very interesting process and procedure, even down to you had a lot of the monks, the Tibetan monks, the Buddhist monks would practice this, and you even had some early like Christian druids and stuff early on. I remember reading a little bit about that, and different aspects of this were incorporated in all different traditional religions in all different cultures. So there was a lot to the mystical aspect of the elements and the mystical aspect of that etheric connection. So I find it very interesting. It's one of those things that I think we could do more and more research into, and exactly what like Nikola Tesla was onto, the free energy and tapping into that, those electric waves that are in the atmosphere, and a number of different things, And again, Miriam, is the information hidden from us? Is it information that an older, more advanced human race knew about and harnessed? I mean, it definitely could be, and I think a lot of the signs are there when you look at like what you had spoke about, Sataria and some of these ancient cultures and different things that they found, different relics that have been uncovered. Very, very interesting.
Well, I think we're being kept in the dark about how to move forward, because if you look at technology, it's so primitive. It's not what is really out there. I mean, there is knowledge of anti-gravity devices and free energy already. It's just that we are not privy to it. And then that's how we are living. We just live in a world of divide, and we don't realize that we should all come together and have unity and love and service to others and self-love, and we shouldn't suffer so much. I mean, there's a lot of suffering going on. But I am truly excited about all the elements of nature, because I speak about when you want to release something, going to a body of water and speaking to it and let it take it away, and grounding yourself, walking barefoot on the earth, or putting your hands on a tree and standing on the roots of a tree, and then just the air and when it rains and just being in a rainfall. I mean, all of the elements of nature will bring you back to yourself. And if you just listen, you're going to activate your intuition more and your clairsenses. And before you know it, you'll be contacting us and asking to be a guest on the show.
there's absolutely a connection between the elements, nature, and higher levels of consciousness, and there absolutely is. There's connection to that. I do believe, the world around us, the nature aspects that we live within are all alive. They're all connecting. They're all communicating. And that includes us with them. Absolutely. Anyone. The interesting thing is when you read like some of these different stories of different horticulturists and different, these different people that are humanitarians and different people that have been in nature and living in these exotic jungles around these exotic plants, and they start locating these systems of essential oils that are coming, all the different healing properties, but then they find when like a pest or a certain type of worm starts eating into the bark of one certain type of tree, it'll release a pheromone, letting the other trees within a certain like 10-mile radius that have similar bark know that this parasite is near, and the other trees will start to release this sappy resin that either kills or prevents this parasitic worm from burrowing into the bark. Like, it's crazy when you look at like the root structures, how they communicate, and how plants have this interconnected, it's almost like a neuron type connection through the soil and through the ground, and then through the pheromones, through the wind. The wind takes, and transfers this connection. So it's really, I think, way beyond what we understand as humans. But I think as spiritualists, and I think as, the ever tuning in scholarly people that we are as mediums and psychics and healers, and we're trying to learn and expand our consciousness. When we stay open to that stuff, it can be very intriguing. And I can tell you my own experiences have been pretty profound in nature. So it's absolutely a world of enlightenment for our human senses. And I think it's a doorway and a gateway for us to open up and tune into this other realm around us.
We are so lucky because we have this beautiful world when you step outside, regardless of the seasons or where you live on this planet Earth. And we should spend as much time as we can in nature and enjoy it. I want to remind everybody that every one of our broadcasts you can listen to the prior episodes. We're at episode 21. We've been doing this for now 5 months, and we're going to keep going, and I'm excited about it. And you can listen to it. We're probably going to continue having at least 2 guests a month, and we cover a lot of interesting topics, and anyone who wants a psychic reading, you just call in, and we give our knowledge, and whatever we receive, we share with you. And honestly, I have to tell you, I'm very grateful that I'm here, and I'm so happy that Michael's doing this 2 Psychics with me. And I've known him since 2015 at my very first psychic fair. If anyone already heard this story, I met him, and I had these spirits speaking to me every night for 4 months, and I couldn't sleep. And I went over to him, and I don't know, I had this inclination to go over to this guy I never met. And I just started talking to him, and it was like a little telepathic, and he immediately gave me suggestions to have them make an appointment. And it was kind of the beginning of a friendship, and you've been on all the whatever I'm hosting on, I did Facebook, I did Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, whatever it is, you've come aboard, and I appreciate you joining me here and us coming together here on Blog Talk Radio. We do have merchandise. You can find that online, and it's through Spreadshop, and we have a Facebook page. How about we take a caller, Michael, and then I will do a visualization and then take more callers. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Do a caller.
You want to do a caller?
Yeah, let's do a caller.
All right.
Sounds good.
So, everybody out there, I have to tell you, there's no information here telling me who called first. So I go in the order that looks like a number that I've seen repeatedly when I'm paying attention to the board. So I hope you bear with me. We will try to get to everyone that's calling in tonight. And here we go. I'm going to take this person. Let's see who it is. Hi, this is Mary and Michael who's calling. Hello? Hello? Michael, do you hear anything?
Oh, I just hear empty silence. Did you hang up on them? No.
No, they're right there. Maybe they were this way. We'll find somebody
All right.
else.
Next caller.
There's many callers tonight.
Hello.
Hi, this is Mary and Michael. Who's this?
Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. How are you tonight?
Good. How are y'all?
Good. Where are you calling from, Nicole?
Calling from Talcott, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Wow.
Nice. Excellent. You may be our first. Is Nicole our first official caller from West Virginia?
I think so.
I
believe so.
Very
Great
cool.
to
So
hear your
Nicole, what questions do you have for us?
Could I ask anything, or does it have to be about the elements?
No, it could be about anything.
It's about you.
Whatever you'd like to talk about.
Okay. Well, I just want to know, am I currently pregnant right now? Because I'm not sure, so.
Oh, are you pregnant? Woo! Talk about a tough question. Put the psychic on. All right, so what we're going to do, we're just going to connect your energy, and let's see what's through. So if you could slowly say your name for us one time, let us connect to your energy field.
I think I already have the answer for her.
you might go first then.
Can I just say what I heard? So
yeah. What'd you hear? But we're going to let Mary Amy go first on this one.
I immediately heard, Nicole, whispering life, echo of light. That's what I heard, whispering life. So I think it's a yes. And then I heard it again.
Right.
I received life is difficult and complex for you. Okay, let me just say, hold on, let me say. Is it okay if I connect to you?
Sure.
All right, so I just saw a flock of doves come up around you, white doves, and so I'm hearing breathing of life. So I'm saying yes to the pregnancy. It's not a thinking thing. It's just what I'm receiving regarding you. I do see a lot of abundance coming towards you in like flowers, bouquets of flowers. So you are someone that is, this is what I'm sensing and realizing, is that you are someone that's a bit old-fashioned about life. You are willing to take chances to try to kind of reconcile with what's going on today. But as an individual, you are pretty, you're pretty, I don't want to say stubborn, but you're pretty much set in your ways about how you see your life going. In other words, you don't take big risks, although you will look outside the box, but you kind of already have a trajectory that you would like to have happen. Let's see. I see berries. I have to, is there any question that you have? And then I'm going to do some more, and then he can read, and then I will come back to you.
Okay. Regarding to what you said, or?
No. It's just anything that you want to ask, a question or anything, before I give you back to Michael.
I was wondering, my mother passed away a few years ago. I was wondering if you picked up anything on that. Because I never got to say goodbye to my mom.
Okay. Okay, Michael, you continue.
All right,
you go.
And Nicole, don't give us too much information. We don't want to know like who passed around you. We want to bring the information through. But no, that's fine. I'm just going to bring information through as Mary Amy was starting to bring information through. I had a lot of stuff coming to me, so initially I'm just going to go through all the different information that I'm here jotting down in my chicken scratch. So now the first thing. They're George and Georgia, so I don't know if they're trying to give me the G name specific to you or connect to Georgia. What's the deal with George or Georgia?
I'm sorry, but that was my mom's fiance's name before she. My mom was with this guy since 2005, all the way up from her death. That's my stepfather's name.
It's George or Georgia?
George.
George. Okay, so she was giving me the George. Okay, so you're most likely, so someone in spirit around you was giving me that name. I want to just keep bringing through the information that was coming to me. And then, because understand, I mean, we're just literally jumping in on this reading. This is no preparation on my part.
I got chills when you said that because
So
I was like, oh my God.
I appreciate you giving that confirmation. So there is absolutely, I'm going to just say your collective is, because I'm pulling that information basically from your collective. They gave me the George, and so that name was coming through very, very clear. Now, is there a connection to Georgia too, in addition to the name George? I almost feel like there was a dual meaning around that name, because as I was getting George, I was also getting Georgia. Is there a Georgia connection around him or around you?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, so then it's the George. So we're going to stick completely with the George.
Yeah.
They were just really trying to get that name through to me. Now, there's also, with that, when the George name was coming through to me, and I wasn't sure whether I was going with a name or a place initially. I also is there Travis? What's the TR? The Travis or I'm also getting that name, and it's not a common name that I get. Travis.
Oh my God, that's what I'm planning to name my baby his middle name if I was having a boy.
Ah, so Travis. Okay. All right. Well, they also gave me that name, so just know. So this is what I would say. At this point in time, in this type of reading where I'm just pulling information, I'm really connecting to your collective. I would definitely say mom's around you. I'm not connecting with her in this very moment directly, although she could be the one giving me the information. But your collective overall, I would say you have quite a few people around you in spirit. There's also a younger male, so that would be brotherly. That isn't blood connection. So you may have went to school with this person or he lived near you. And I do believe he passed something to do around I don't know if he worked on the road, like a road department or construction, but there's definitely a younger male around you too. Now there's someone. They're also showing me someone with military ties that I'm seeing like desert. I'm seeing like desert camo. I'm not seeing like regular green camo. I'm seeing like the tan. So I don't know if this was like way back to like Middle East, Desert Storm, Desert Shield. Can you take a military figure around you, male, that would have been in desert fatigues, desert military fatigues? It's very.
I mean, I was born in '84, so wasn't the Devil's that was in '80s or something like that?
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, but or this could be just Middle East in that whole realm. Someone that would have been. So I don't know if this is uncle, someone around you, around the family that was in Desert Storm that passed with military connection.
What about the Korean War? Because I have two grandfathers that passed and went to the Korean War. How about that?
Well, I'm seeing desert fatigue, so I don't know if they were different or something, or they were Marine or Special Ops or Ranger or something that they're not in green fatigue. I'm not seeing green military fatigues, and I'm not seeing like a Navy outfit. I'm seeing like desert, like desert fatigue. So I'm not sure, but I just want to. I don't want to discredit that, and I want to share that with you. But again, they're acknowledging the name Travis. So if that's a middle name for your child, then I would say. They definitely, I'm going to just call your collective around you could be acknowledging that you are pregnant. I mean, I'm not getting, so Amy got that you're pregnant. Honestly, I'm not, I'm going to stay neutral on this one, but I'm going to tell you they are giving me the name Travis. So if you were picking out Travis as a middle name, that could be a good confirmation from your collective that you are pregnant. Let me ask you this though. I don't want to get too personal, but there is younger male energy around you. Was there someone, either you or someone around you, lose a child or have a miscarriage?
Oh, my mama did. She had one, and then she had two twin boys that died at birth.
That could be the younger. So I'm definitely have younger male energy. Definitely, and that's what I felt like. There was younger male energy that passed in like miscarriage. Just know that. Energy could still be in the family, could be around the family, could be a pregnancy that you're carrying. Is some older energy, of someone in the family structure that wasn't supposed to come through at that point in time. And now they're meant to manifest into this physical. So there could be some connection to that around you. And then I'm also getting the 12, the number 12 around you, the 12th. So I don't know if there's something significant to the 12th, or 1-2 could be January, February, but I feel like I'm getting it as the 12th as a significant date for you. So I'm wondering if you find out you're pregnant and your due date will be the 12th. But I do have the number 12 around you as a significant number. Can you take that number?
Yeah, I'm guessing on October 12th or 13th I'll probably do if I am pregnant because I could come back in January.
Okay, so
yeah.
So just know then the 12th. Yeah, if you can kind of take that, there's a good probability then your collective could be almost reinforcing the fact that, yeah, you are pregnant if we're getting a lot of this information like that. Because I feel like a lot of it's corresponding in a way that it's acknowledging what you already know. So that's kind of what I'm sensing around this. But what else you getting, Mary Amy?
Hello, I'm back. Okay, so this is what I received. Hi. I hear things, and some of it sounds kind of silly, but I say it anyway because I don't know what it means to you. So I sensed TV dinners, and then I heard something in darkness, something hidden, a hunger for love. Let's see. I received that you will fulfill your aspirations. The berries represent unexpected happiness and luck. You have a very sweet character. And at this moment, I sense that you will benefit from keeping family close right now. There's something that needs to be released. So let go of this current situation that's troubling you because it will not be resolved anytime soon. That's what I received.
Yeah.
Now, Nicole, I have to mention one thing. As Mary Amy was bringing through that information, I just heard the presence around you. I'm going to say you're collective, but I heard this in a female energy giving me this, and they're like, talk to her about the nursing. So I don't know if you're going to be a nurse, someone around you is going to be a nurse. You had thought about going into nursing, or?
Oh my God.
So they told me to reinforce that, and I had to tell you, don't forget or do the nursing. So what's the deal with that?
Oh my God, my mother, when she was alive, before I was even born, she wanted to be a nurse, and I studied medical billing coding.
Okay, cool. So there's very strong connection and ties. So then I think your mom's around you and just giving as quick of a piece of validation and evidence she can give me to bring it through to you. So again, in this sense, I'm doing a very quick mediumship reading like this. I'm literally not prepped or connected, and she's bringing through these bits and pieces of information. So even though I can't tell you I have a definitive connection to her, she's in your collective, and in your collective's energy, they're giving me this information. Definitely know Mom is just she's acknowledging that she's around you, and the George name, the 12th, giving you the 12th. Again, the Travis name, and now talking about the nursing. I think she just wants to give little pieces of information that can validate that she's absolutely around you. So I appreciate you acknowledging that. And know with this information, I don't know anything about you. I don't know, I didn't even know your name before you got on. So for me to get these pieces of information, I would definitely say if you had any question at all, are they around me? Are they helping guide me? They are, absolutely. And I think, this is them validating that, you're being guided and you're loved from the other side. And even though Mom isn't here in the physical, her love is still there for you. And the interesting thing about that now is, as I'm connecting more to your energy, I feel any guilt or any concern about not being there when she passed, just know she was having I think a lot of people were there and she wasn't getting left alone, and she was really hanging on and trying to hold on for the people that were around her. And I really think she needed that space, and she needed certain people to not be there for her to let go, because as I'm sensing this, is her body was failing, and I think it would have got worse and worse for her. And I think, I'm definitely sensing, I don't know if this is like the heart shutting down, the cardiovascular system shutting down, but I'm feeling like I'm losing my breath, and I'm having a hard time breathing. And I feel like she needed to release from this body, as hard as it was for everyone else around, and as hard as it was for you to not be there when it happened. Was there, and I almost feel like there could have been there was a little argument or something that happened that delayed you, or argument with somebody else or trying to navigate. I don't. There's something around it that you feel like prevented you from getting there. So I'm not sure what she's showing me, because obviously we're going through this pretty quick. But I think it's important for you to know she wouldn't have been able to release into the spirit realm if certain family members were there. So I think there was several people that thought they should have been there that aren't, and that's kind of the way it was supposed to unfold.
Yeah, because like it's kind of weird. My aunt went to her granddaughter's graduation in Virginia, and then I had to go to my dad. My parents are divorced, so my dad's family had a family reunion in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. So I went there. I told my mom I had a premonition, like my anxiety was going like off the chain, like really, really haywire. And I said to Mom, I don't think I should go to this family reunion. And she got on me about it. She says, it's your dad. You need to go be with your family. I said, Mom, I don't really think I should go. She goes, why? I said, I have a feeling like something bad's going to happen when I go to this family reunion. I'm going to be too far away from home. West Virginia and Pennsylvania is not that close. So, and she said to me, even though something happens to me, there's nothing you can do about it. And then she went in the hospital. I was in the middle of packing and got a call from the nurse saying that she fell. And I'm like, I'm not near the hospital because I live about half an hour away from the hospital. I told him to call my stepfather. So my stepfather went out there and handled the situation because she fell out. About 5 days into my vacation, I got a text message from my dad's brother-in-law saying that my mom passed away when I was on my vacation.
Yeah, and I think as crazy and as quick as it seems like it happened to you, I think Mom knew. I think there was something going on with her for a while. And I don't know if she was really stubborn or if she just was kind of scared and nervous about it. But I think she knew she was sick for a period of time and didn't want everybody else around her to get nervous and worry and be concerned. But I think there was something going on with her, and I'm not sure what the circumstances were exactly, but I do feel like in that moment of her releasing and passing, I think whatever was going on with her systems were shutting down, and I feel like she had to release it, almost as if she didn't want people to see her in this really bad, horrific condition, and it was like she had to release the body, and it was and as hard as that is to wrap your head around, I just think it's important for you to understand she's still around you. And even though you didn't get closure in the physical, you weren't with her at the end, for her to bring through these bits and pieces of information, it's really important for you to just acknowledge that she's around you and she wants to connect. Now, if you haven't had her come to you in dreamlike states, which I think she's tried, so I don't know if you're having like a hard time sleeping or like, like you're very disruptive sleep and you're waking up a lot. But I feel like if you can try to quiet down and you can think about her, I think she'll start visiting you in the dreamlike state when the analytical mind is shut down and you can kind of open and tune into that a little more. But very tuned in, even though and you even talked about that premonition and you felt like something was going to happen. You kind of knew, and it's tough when we have certain things like that. And I know it's kind of eating you up. Like, why didn't I listen to that? Why didn't I just stay? Or why didn't I do that? And it's hard for us to understand those things. But I do think there was some kind of bigger picture at play. And I do believe, certain people we incarnate into this physical existence. And there's points of reference that we're meant to leave at. And we can't understand it, and some people might be, as a child, and some people were past at birth, some people it could be at 20 years old, some people at 50 years old. We don't understand it, but I do believe your mom left at an exit point, and even if she didn't leave in that way, I feel like something around her would have, whether there was an car accident and she passed or something else happened. I do believe at that point in time, as hard as it is to wrap your head around it, I do believe she was meant to move on to the spirit realm. So not sure why, not sure what was going on, not sure if she had fulfilled what she came here to fulfill or, in her passing that would trigger and enlighten some other people to move on in some different way or some new direction that'll trigger other things. I mean, it's hard for us to wrap our head around this, but what I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt is the information that's coming through in this reading, she wants you to know that she's okay. And she definitely wants to connect with you because of this, validating evidence that's come through, and talking about the nursing, you know, and her doing that nursing, and that being a big passion of hers. So I think if you just sit quietly, and if you, I'm pretty sure I'm explaining this to you because they want me to talk to you about psychometry. So I would say you either have access to or still have some of Mom's stuff, you know, clothing, jewelry. Like, what's weird is I feel like I'm seeing like a sweater. I don't know if there was some kind of weird sweater or like a knit jacket or something she wore, but I'm seeing some kind of like knit sweater jacket type thing. And I feel like,
I have her ashes.
What is it?
I have her ashes in my home.
Okay, you have her. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that's that would be really connected to her. I mean, you know, so that, literally, if you sit with that, there's something called psychometry, and our loved one's energy can be imprinted on things that they had. So whether it be a piece of jewelry, a chair they sat in all the time, their ashes. I mean, whatever it could be that's holding their energy, you absolutely can use that as a tool to connect to her. So I would say, if you sit with that, or even just the energy in the same room as you, and don't, you know, you got to think of it as, you know, she's still here. Her energy is still here. Her energy is still loving. It's guiding. She's still around you. She wants the highest and best for you. And when you start to think of that, you start to open up that connection. And in doing that, you want to try to hear her voice, you know, hear it in your mind. If she had certain mannerisms, start to think about those. Start to visualize in your mind's eye what she looked like, you know, how she sounded. And all those things will open and connect you to her energy. And the more and more you do that, just like riding a bike or learning how to play a guitar, the more we work with this energy and we exercise it, the more powerful it becomes, and the more we can utilize it for a stronger connection. So that would be my first challenge for you.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I've been doing that since 2021, since she passed. I got the ashes. Every time I want a hug, I squeeze the little urn that I get.
There you go.
And then, like, my family got me a bracelet. She died a month before my birthday. My family got me a bracelet with her ashes in it. She passed. And it's funny, I'm talking to you right now. Actually, it's funny I'm talking to you right now because she passed on June 27th of 2021. So her anniversary is coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of funny I'm talking.
No, it's a good thing. You know, the universe works in mysterious ways, and, you know, when we take a step back, it's not so mysterious. And I truly believe, you know, tonight has been your collective and your mom's intervention with us to show you that they're around you, you know, and they absolutely are. And I think they were giving some really good pieces of information. But Mary Amy, what else you got? Anything else? Because I think the connection is good, and I think Nicole, you just need to kind of open and tune into this, and the connection is going to get stronger. And the next time you come back, you'll be able to tell us what she's saying.
I was wondering if my mom had any other messages, like if she loves me, or because I want to know if I was there, what would she say to me? If her last words to me. That's what I'm curious.
You know, the only thing I could tell you in this is I sense the love and the connection, and if she's making this much of an effort to try to get her piece of validation and information through to me, just know, I mean, just the name Travis, she's obviously, if there's a pregnancy going on, your mom is around you, and she's trying to help guide you. And by giving me that name Travis that you were considering to be the child's middle name, just know she's around you in this process, and that was her way of acknowledging that. You know, again, the George, giving me the George and the date of the 12th, and, you know, just all those little pieces of information. It's all just about that connection, and that love never dies, you know. And even though the physical body isn't here, that connection. So I would say yes. I would say Mom absolutely loves you. She's around you. Even though you weren't there in her passing, I don't believe that changes anything. In your mind, and obviously the way you're trying to process that grief, it's definitely making it harder or difficult. But honestly, I think the more you sit with Mom's energy, the more healing you're going to get from it. So that would be my challenge to you. And don't discredit anything. And especially like when you're waking up, like before you get out of bed, try to connect. Hey, Mom, are you with me? Do you want to give me a message today? And if things come to you, certain numbers or dates or names, don't discredit any of it, because it may be some kind of sign or some piece of information that makes no sense to you in the very moment, but in 3 days from now you're going to see that commercial. You're going to see that on a road sign. Or you're going to see it, paint that. You're going to see that certain thing painted on the truck in front of you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Spirit
Right.
will work in any way possible to try to connect to us and let us know that they love us, they care about us, they're still with us. So that would be my challenge to you, is try to meditate, and in those moments, write it down, journal it, have like a little notebook or something, a little pen and paper, and anything that comes to you, no matter how bizarre or abstract it sounds, write it down. Don't discredit it. And that's going to be the first step of connecting. And we all have this ability, and you don't, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go be a medium or go be a psychic, but just for your own understanding and for your own connection, so important that you utilize this. Especially, and I'm saying this because you had such a profound intuitive touch, when it was like you knew something was happening. You told us, obviously, that really touched you in a way that it's still, when you talked about that, I could feel the energy come from you of how powerful that was when you got that intuitive guidance. So understand, you can utilize.
It has happened to me more than once in my life. I predicted a lot of things in my life that came true, but my mom was open to mediums and psychics, but she believed in that stuff, but also she had the other, believes in the Bible, it's kind of evil, whatever, so she was kind of
and you know what, and let me tell you, and it's unfortunately, when the Roman Empire took over the Christian church in 400 AD, they kind of took away what Jesus' ancient mystical supernatural ministry was. And everything we're doing all goes back to the ancient ministry of the Bible. If you go into the Old Testament, you go into the New Testament, it's all there. So it's unfortunately kind of misconstrued and misguided. And, I'm Catholic. I was raised Catholic. Half my family had, Hungarian, Romney, Gypsy background, and then I had the Catholic background, and I could tell you this is our God-given ability, and it's been misconstrued, unfortunately. But I can tell you, even the Catholic Church is acknowledging this and acknowledging some of the faults around this and how they misguided their own people. So there is absolutely nothing evil about this. This is all in God's love and light, and it's all our God-given ability. Absolutely.
Okay, I have one more thing. So when you asked that question about, you said about your mother, was there a message? So what I received was protection for you, and it's kind of ironic because it seems as though you have some emotions about not being there, but it's actually what's coming through to me is that she's strong and that she wants you to be protected. And it seems like you wanted to protect her, but she wants you to be protected now. I also saw and heard staircase. I don't know what that means, but that's what came through to me. So that's what I received. But she is around you, and she is concerned for you. And again, she wants protection for you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for calling, Nicole. And, listen back after tonight, and you can, if you want to kind of remind yourself of what we said, because I know Michael touched on a lot of information related to those that are around you. And we hope you well and be well. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much for calling in, Nicole.
I've got one more thing to say. Real quick. I just remind myself I am wearing something that's my mom's. It's her mother ring. I just remembered. I just looked at my finger.
There you go. Okay. Well, then that's part of the connection. Then that's part of the connection. What she was talking about. So just honor her energy. Sit with her energy and honor it. And I guarantee that connection is it's gonna get more and more powerful, and you'll be communicating with her just as a medium is. Give it some time and don't put the pressure on yourself. Just allow it to unfold naturally. All right. Thank you so much.
Nicole, before you go to sleep tonight, ask for her to visit you, and she will. She will visit you. Maybe not tonight, but in the next week and a half, she will visit you in your dreams. Okay.
Want to visit me?
I think so. I think just be
absolutely.
open to it, and she absolutely wants to connect, or she wouldn't have validated this reading with as much evidence as she brought through for you.
Right.
All right,
Right.
Nicole. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank
good
you.
night.
All right.
You will.
too.
Bye.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
I'm so sorry I interrupt. It's just stuff comes through, and
Yeah, no,
I know
I
we
get
want
it,
to get
yeah,
on
and
to other callers.
And
Timer,
sometimes that's how you-
where's your timer, Michael?
there was a lot we want, and that's how it's funny, because that's how it goes. Is once we make the link, the longer I hold that link, the more it opens, and the stronger it gets, And when we go onto the show, like, I am not prepped to do readings or anything. We just kind of open it up and let it go, And that's how, and I think it's kind of cool that way. But sometimes that's how it happens, though. Just so people understand, is when we hold that link as a medium, the more information that'll start to come through as that link gets held and opens and expands. So it's an interesting thing. So yeah. So
okay, this is what came through to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a visualization, and then I want to have another caller, and then I was wondering if you would do one of your psychic development exercises. Take a few moments like you did with the apple.
Yeah. And you know what we're going to do, because we're talking about the elements. I'm going to do a little visual exercise around the elements and the associations around the elements, and you can actually use, that visual of fire, that visual of air, of water, of earth. You can use those to develop your psychic senses. So, I'll take everyone through a little bit of an elemental exercise, which would be pretty cool, since we're on the elements tonight.
Sounds great. We still have those callers, and we're going to take more callers tonight. All right, so let me do a visualization. I do want to remind you again that if you want to, listeners out there, if you want to go back to episodes, and I'm just going to run through a few of our episodes so you know what you can go back and listen to. Our very first episode was about psychic development. Number 2 was Shayna Blackmar, who's a sound healer and an energy healer, and it was about healing humanity. Episode 3 was Psychic Powers, Past Lives. Episode 4, Channeling with Laura Fay and Oracle Starseed. Episode 5 was Remote Viewing, Debbie Solaris, and Extraterrestrial Contactee. That was episode 5. On episode 6, we had Awakening and DNA Activation. Episode 7 was the 12 Chakras and the Auric Field. Episode 8 was Otherworldly Realms with Flat Earth Dave, and that was a lot of popping. Remember that, where he spoke so fast, but he was amazing. Episode 9, Self-Love, Ascension Symptoms. Episode 10 was Cryptic Huntress, Jessica Jones, and she's a remote viewer. She's part of a group that remote views. Episode 11 was Angels and Divine Light. Episode 12, Love and Dreams. Episode 13, Silver Cord, Energetic Cords and Spiritual Cord Cutting. Episode 14 was Predestined Nature. Episode 15 was Death, Spirit, and Afterlife. Episode 16, Empaths and Energy Protection. Episode 17, Meditation and Grounding. I'm almost done. Episode 18, Energy Healer and author Alexandra LaCour, the one who I went to the Sweat Lodge with this weekend. She's having another one July 19th, by the way, if anyone wants to go. Episode 19, Robin Jelnick, channeler of Athena and Truth. And then last week was Animal Psychic Laura Stench-Field. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do a visualization, and then we'll take a caller, and then Michael is going to do some kind of psychic development for us. All right, everybody, what I'd like you to do is I'd like everybody to get in comfortable position, sit or lay down. You can close your eyes or open them if you choose. So blessings. Our intention today is to clear away negative thoughts with a ball of glowing light. So let's realize connecting your mind, body, spirit to divine light will shed darkness in yourself and unlock your true purpose and passions. Your glowing ball of light visualization begins now. So please, like I said, find a comfortable position to sit or lay down. Now, I would like you to put all your weight in your bottom, which is the base of your spine, your root chakra. In other words, you're going to let go of any tension. You're going to relax your arms, your legs, your torso. You're going to move your neck around. You're going to let out a breath. you're definitely going to have, if you can, gratitude for this moment. You're going to be in this moment. That's where all the power lies, is in this moment. Not what happened 5 seconds ago or what's going to happen in 5 seconds. Right here in this moment. This is where all the power lies and in the energy. So you're going to release any tension in your body, and we're going to do 3 inhales and exhales together. Okay, so we're going to do that on a 5 count. So we'll hold. Inhale for 5, hold it for 5, and release it for 5. Let's do 1. Here we go. And the last one. Now, hopefully you've lowered your blood pressure, your heart rate, and you've relaxed, and you've let go of all the tension that you possibly can in this moment. You're pushing away any thoughts of doubt. You have self-confidence and a belief you can do this. We're in the moment. We're grounded in the moment. We're imagining our feet firmly planted in the earth's surface. We're wiggling our toes. Okay, so our intention today is to release negative emotions preventing us from our own personal happiness. I'd like you to begin, if you've closed your eyes, to imagine there is a bright, glowing light in the distance. This ball of light is bold and powerful and energetic. You're relaxed. You're seeing this ball of glowing light. You sense it's powerful. Now, as the ball of glowing light travels to you, you begin to feel more relaxed and more calm and more hopeful. You sense as this ball of light is coming to you, you're going to become more accepting of yourself. You're going to release anything from your system that's bothering you. You're going to shed the past. You're going to focus in on this moment. You sense it is a positive, necessary experience to grow and achieve your goals. The ball of light continues to move towards you, and it expands. And now you're feeling safe and warm and secure. The ball of light, the beautiful glowing ball of light, is covering your entire body. You feel peace and calmness. No one may harm you. It's completely covering you beyond your head, beyond your feet, beyond your physical being. No one may harm you. This beautiful glowing ball of light is powerful. This power, it diminishes old thoughts and past mindsets, this light. It remains surrounding you. It fills your bones, your flesh, and your organs. And you give permission to this beautiful glowing ball of light to fill your cells with positive light and energy. You breathe out any pain, anger, sadness, or fear that you're holding on to. Now you can let go by speaking aloud if you choose. Now there's more room for your love. Your heart grows bigger. You have a new awareness of calmness. You surrender to this new feeling of positivity. So let's stay in this moment for a second. Acknowledge it. Embrace it. I'm going to count backwards to 1, and you'll open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Are you calmer, Michael?
Refreshed. I was actually linking. I was doing my mediumship grounding energy practices while I was just utilizing what you were doing to kind of ground my energy and kind of open that mediumship portal. So
oh my goodness, is there any spirits around me?
Yeah, well, whoever our next call, I can tell you I'm getting information in regard to our next caller. That's
Are
kind
you
of
really?
how it works.
Okay, well, let's bring them on.
And I figured since I'm starting to tune in on a mediumship level, I might as well just turn the volume knob up and let's see where it goes. I was
Okay.
anticipating staying in the psychic realm a little more tonight, but I guess that's not what Spirit has in mind. So let's do it.
Okay, and again, I'm not familiar with these numbers. I don't know who I'm linking in. Like you used the word linking. I don't know who I'm connecting to. So I'm just going to grab. I don't know if this is the same. Let's just say who this is. Hi, this is Marion Michael. Who's this?
Hi, this is Maddie.
Hi, Maddie. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, Maddie, where are you calling us from?
Georgia, Atlanta.
Nice. Atlanta,
Yeah,
Georgia.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Mary Amy, did you see the last reading? I got a name, but they also gave me a secondary location. What was that location? It was Georgia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's how they're working. I think they're fine tuning. We got a whole collective going on.
I just dialed the number and say, "Wow, I need a message." And here I am.
No kidding, Matt. So Maddie, what if you could just give us your name slow? We're going to connect to your energy. So give us your name slow, and then give us whatever question for us.
Maddie. I don't have a specific question.
Okay, you just want us to kind of
just
connect
whatever,
to your
just for general, yes, whatever.
Okay. All right,
guys.
cool. So,
yeah.
All right, so let me see what we got. Give me your name one more time, slow.
Maddie.
Okay, Maddie. All right, so interesting. A couple different things coming to me as I connect to your energy field. Now, I had some stuff coming to me. So I'm getting the significance to a D. Now, I don't know if there's a Dorothy or a Daniel, the D-A-D-O. I'm getting a significance to the D initial around you. Can you take that? It doesn't necessarily have to be someone in spirit. This could be someone in the physical, but it could potentially be someone around you in spirit. But I'm getting the D as a... Is this
Daphne,
someone? Or,
my daughter, Daphne, D-A.
There you go. That's exactly what... Okay. I couldn't tell if it was Daniel or Dorothy, but I knew it was something like that. Okay, Daphne. Okay, I appreciate that. All right, so they're absolutely giving me, and they were giving me that before we even linked to you. So that's your confirmation that I know we're connecting to your collective, and they were giving me that name for you. So I appreciate that. So now there's interesting. I have older female and male energy. The older female energy that's around you, though, was now grandma on mom's side is definitely in spirit, and I would say did she have a part in raising you? Did you live with her, or did she live with you? What's the deal with the grandmother figure that was like mom?
Grandma on mom's side?
Well,
Grandma on mom's side, no. I didn't know her that well. I think she made a transition when I was 5.
Oh, this is the grandma that was like mom. This is the grandma. So this could be Dad's mom. Is that
Dad's mom? Yeah, I did stay. I spent quite a bit of time with her when I was younger.
Okay, that's who I had. That's what she's talking about. She's talking about, her almost being motherly to you. You stayed with her for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Is it now? She's talking about there. I don't. Is there a Sydney or who's the S? Who's the S name she's talking about here? I feel like she's talking about younger female energy around you. I don't know if this is a niece or a goddaughter or who's the S? The younger female energy that's around you. Is there a niece? Niece with the S?
Niece with the S.
The younger female energy with the S that she's talking about.
S. I got it. T, C.
Not sure. Now we'll just sit with that. There. So she's.
C. Selena.
Yeah, like a Sabrina.
I have a niece. Selena, but
okay.
I don't communicate with her
now,
that much.
What's the connection to the D? To the who is that's your daughter?
Daphne is my daughter, yes.
Daphne's your daughter, and so does Selena have a connection? What's the connection between Selena and Daphne?
They really don't resonate together. They're cousins, but they don't communicate.
Is there someone in spirit that's connecting them? Is there a male energy that they would both be connected to? They're trying to show me some type of connection between the two younger energies, and I do believe they're trying to get through someone in spirit that's around you. That would have been tied. Is there a cousin? So, who's the B? Who's the Billy Bobby? There, who's the B that's in spirit that's around them?
B.
Yeah.
B.
I feel like they're giving me
B. My father was Bishop.
Yeah, and he's in spirit, correct?
Yes, he is.
All right, so he's the B. That's what. Okay, that's why I was getting the BI. Okay, all right. So, and that was his name, Bishop. That was his name, BI.
That was his name. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, just be aware. He's bringing up both of their names. He's talking about both of the female. So I don't know if they're both like career-wise. There's something similar they're doing, or they're navigating something, or they're navigating like new relationships, pregnancies. But I feel like he's talking about some kind of similar path that they're each going through, and there's some kind of. So this is interesting. So I feel like he's talking about. Is there a sister or something that you had a falling out with? That's connected to the Selena girl, or is there...
Yeah, my baby sister. We don't communicate. She just cut me off. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's. I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to follow. Yeah. It's a little bit like a puzzle here, and I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to show me. All right. So there's. Excuse me. There's some kind of connection. He's trying to show me that your sister, that something in regard to the relationship between you and your younger sister. That's Selena's mom, correct? Your younger sister is Selena's mom?
You got it, yeah.
Okay. So he's just talking about the connection. Just understand, I feel like he's talking about, there could have been some either misinformation, wrong information, or a lie or something around you and your younger sister's falling out. Not, I feel now. Was there a falling out around the passing of a loved one, or around like a dispute, like I don't know if he's talking about some kind of financial dispute around like the will, or around something that was there's some type of legal dispute I feel like he's talking about. But I feel like there's some misinformation around there, that something wasn't properly presented, and there was some kind of mistake around it. So I do feel like there could be potentially some hard feelings or some misinformation around the falling out.
Yeah, my baby sister was the last one that was left in the home, and my father left land for his girls, and she is the only one that has the will, and myself and my other sisters have asked her several times. We would love a copy of the will also, and she'll say that she's going to present it, but she has not as of yet.
Okay,
and yeah.
Okay, that's what Dad's talking about. Wow, isn't that? It's just crazy when they can bring
crazy. It's amazing.
Well, I would say if there's any confirmation that Dad is not around you, I think he's coming through loud and clear, and he's bringing through some really validating evidence to show you he's around and he's overseeing this. Because like I said, I didn't even know your name when you were calling up. So for me to be giving you this information, if there was any question of, is Dad around me? Is he watching over me? Absolutely, he's watching over the whole family with this. So that's what he's talking about. So there's some deception. So I do think you have to get even if you have to be a little hard on her around this. But I also believe there's someone manipulating her that he's showing me. So I don't know if there's a significant other, or I don't know if there's a boyfriend that's around, or like another kid that she's trying to take care of. There's something that I feel like there's some manipulation being done around her. So not that makes it right or wrong, but just know there could be someone else around her pulling the strings, or she could have gotten herself into some kind of like a weird financial situation that she's trying to kind of get out of. and she's thinking this is gonna be it, or this is gonna help her in some way, shape, or form. So not sure exactly what he's showing me around this, but so I will just say there is some kind of misinformation and some kind of misrepresentation around the document. So you could showing me the will, around that will, around the passing of him, so that's definitely coming about. So you definitely want to get a copy of this will. You definitely want to make sure everything is on the up and up. You definitely want to approach things as unbiased legally that you can. So I would definitely say this isn't a situation where it's, a friend comes in to mediate this that knows everyone. I really do think you need true legal representation through this to keep everything fair and keep everything balanced. And so no one looks at anyone else in the family like they're trying to get one over on another person. So I do think you have to be guided, even though this may cost a little bit more in the long run. I think for everyone to have this handled properly and not have it get really out of control where there's a huge family war, I think legal representation has to come in regard to obtaining a copy of the will. So
So what I'm gathering, what you're saying, she's manipulating the will so she can keep it for herself.
Well, I don't. Obviously, I'm just reading the energy of it, and I'm kind of. Yeah, but I feel like that's what he's showing me, and for him to come through, for us to get his name, for him to tell me to talk about the two children that are connected. So obviously, your daughter, her daughter, showed me the divide between you and your sister. I mean, a lot of really validating evidence is coming through, and that's the information that I'm being given. Is there's some kind of manipulation, something being misconstrued around the legal documents, and him talking about the will. Obviously, you're dealing with that right now, so it's not just some general information coming through. So I do feel like he's talking about legal representation has to be obtained and looked through the paperwork properly, so nothing is hidden, everything is disclosed, and everything is how it should be. Because yes, in that sense, there may be some other circumstances going on in her life that you and the family aren't privy to. So I don't know if this is a bad relationship or a relationship that has her being manipulated and controlled, or like someone else that she tried bailing out, or no, correct. Is there a boyfriend and not a husband? There's a boyfriend, right? Or a fiance?
I'm not sure if she's seen anyone, but I often thought that it was her oldest daughter.
Okay.
Melinda, I think, is the one that kind of, I know she's manipulative.
Okay, and it could be that because it's around. Yeah, I feel like it's coming from someone that's not the husband. So that's the information I'm getting around this. There's manipulation and things being misconstrued that aren't coming from a husband figure. And it could be, because I think in this, if you go back and you listen to everything that was coming through, it could have been another child that was influencing it negatively. So now, Mary Amy, what are you getting around this situation?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Okay,
Wow.
Maddie from Atlanta, Georgia. This is what I received about you. I received that you're wise with firmness. There's some sadness within you. You missed someone. It's time for you to be awakened, and there's a puzzle that you need to put together. There's answers. When you put the puzzle pieces together, you will solve whatever it is that you're looking for. You need some kind of confirmation, and it's time for you to break free from old patterns. So I'm suggesting you start to explore goals. So I'm suggesting you make a list of goals, no matter how big. You don't tell anyone what they are, because there's things inside of you that need to be achieved, and it's time for that. So in other words, you go into a quiet space, or you just, if this is something you're interested in doing, you can formally write it down, or you can just think about it yourself, and it would be something that you would basically say, oh my gosh, this is so humongous, I can't do this. Because it's time for you to do some of the goals that are inside of you. You are someone that is able to function very independently. You're not fearful of much. Do you have any questions?
Wow, it's amazing you said that because I just gotten off the line checking out that guy out of Belgium. He does sculptural facials, and I'm an esthetician. And I renewed my license, and I say, you know what? I was online. I was checking. I said, oh my God, he's going to be in New York. Should I travel to New York and take these classes, or and wait and see if he's going to come to Atlanta? And I want to, it's facelifting, energy,
What's in your heart? What's in your heart to do this? It sounds very positive for you. You got very excited. Did you see how your voice changed? Because this is something that's exciting to you. It's time for you to do things that are exciting for you.
Yes.
And find, good.
That's exactly what's been on my mind. And maybe because when I got yesterday, I thought, you know what? I think I'll take a ride to the country. I'll take a ride to North Georgia and walk around the waterfalls. And I thought maybe I'll take a ride to the mushroom farm. Yeah, that is how I've been feeling. But sadness, I've been feeling a little tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's my iron level.
Mm-hmm.
And I upped some adaptogenic herbs like sarsaparilla, burdock. And yesterday I felt great when I blend everything together. And I'm going to do it tonight before I go. I'm just going to do it every day until I get I believe it's my iron level needs to be up.
Okay.
So I can feel more energized.
Good. Well, I can hear the energy coming up. You're just ready to go. You're in a race. You're doing it. You're hitting the ground running.
I've been a little sleepy. I'm feeling a little sleepy, and I need to get back into the gym and start my exercise, get the circulation moving. So there's a few things I stop and I get geared back with all of that. Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. Good. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
you guys are right on point.
What it sounds like to me, Maddie, it definitely sounds like there's a shift going on, and you're going into an empowerment mode. You're really going into that self-care, self-help. What's good for Maddie? I feel like you're very intuitive, and you probably pick up on the energy of other people very strongly. You're probably there for a lot of other people. You're that shoulder for people to cry on, to lean on.
I do. I am, and I do pick up on others' energy.
So it's important to open to this cycle. Everything that Mary Amy just was speaking about, that it's all about like that self-empowerment and embracing you, going on that inward journey and really finding what you love and what uplifts you, what gives you that energy, what makes you feel good. And then you can bring that to basically anyone you come in contact with. So I think that's part of this energy cycle is definitely self-empowerment and self-care. But in that, I want to go back to just what your collective is showing me for your highest and good. So that's what I'm just going to talk about really quick to just bring this read to a close is the B Bishop dad coming through with the grandma motherly figure that was definitely like a mother to you for a period of time and instilled, I would say, that discipline and that fundamental grounding and solid foundation. So utilizing their energy and them talking about the two girls, the D and the Selena and the Daphne. Those were the names that they were showing us. And for that information to come through pretty specifically, and then Dad Bishop to talk about what's going on, the circumstance, the divide between you and the sister, and talk about that family strife and the balance of power, that power struggle that's going on around the will, around the dividing of property, around the presentation of the will. So that's all I could say around this. It's very clear to me that he wants you to get the most comprehensive legal guidance you can around this, so everything is covered, and that someone can't say, "Oh, you're just making this up," or "Oh, you just want this." I think to keep everything fair and just, and for it to look fair and equal in everyone's eyes, you have to approach it from a legal standpoint and have professional come in and intercede on behalf of you and the other family members And I think that's the best way to approach this. I think that's what they're showing us, is to approach that. But in approaching that, I think you're also going against the grain. I think maybe you felt a little bad, or you didn't want to be looked at as the bad guy. You didn't want to, have to do something like that. But I think to empower yourself and to do what's right, I think that's what's going to have to be done in the family structure. You bring in the legal guidance, the legal help to help you navigate obtaining and reading the will, what's on it, and make sure that it's split fairly, or whatever has to happen and unfold of how Dad wanted it. I think that's what he's showing us. So I would say you're going so you're going into that cycle of empowerment, of self-growth, of self-love, but then you're also going to have to make some of those hard choices, but those hard choices are the right choices. All right, Maddie, so I really appreciate you calling in. When this...
Thanks, Maddie.
You got to give us a call back.
Thank you.
Everything unfold, Maddie. But thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Oh, boy, this is such an enlightenment. And I was just thinking this week, wow, the legacy was left behind, and look what's going on. Always, just this week, that's what I was thinking. Wow, there's a legacy Dad left behind, and one sister trying to take it all for herself.
Well, you never know what people are going through, and you never know. So that's why I say just take a step back and let the legal guidance allow it to unfold in the proper way, and that way no one is the good guy, no one's the bad guy. You're just doing legally what is the right and just way to approach it, And I think for you.
But the reason I said that, I'm gonna let you go, but the reason I said that, she's trying to take it off for herself, because one of my other sisters, they were walking across the land a few years ago. They were both walking across the land, and the baby sister, she was claiming, "Oh, this is mine. This is mine." She was.
Yeah,
and I said, she said, "What?" And I said, "What did you say?" She said, "I didn't say nothing."
Yeah. Well, look at Spirit doesn't lie, and they're showing us what I think Dad is overseeing this, and he sees what's going on, and he's giving you the guidance and the way to approach this, so it's it's the proper way to go about it, and so that it's fair for everyone. I think that's how.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Blessings. Blessings.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, well, bye-bye.
Wow.
Oh, I love her. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's got great energy, and there was a lot of really good information coming through. And, I started tuning up the volume knob, and that's how it starts happening. We start getting more names, clearer names, more accurate names. But that's really, what I think that's what people need to understand is when you truly go to an evidential meeting, it shouldn't, a medium, it shouldn't just be, hey, I think this and a general information this. You truly should be getting evidence, names, dates, information that's going to bring about the highest and best whatever circumstances you're going through. And it's a process. But the more we connect to this, the more tuned in we can get. And, that's what I tell everyone. It's a process, and it's about understanding our emotional connections, allowing the body and the intuitive abilities to harness and utilize the emotional connections versus the emotional connections utilizing, controlling, and harnessing us. And that's what it's about. Once we can start working with this energy, it can guide us. And, I can tell you, it's not easy for mediums. And when we're doing this work ourselves, the emotions can get really heavy. I can tell you, even like around my own stuff and my own animal that I'm dealing with, you got to really sit. You got to really work with your emotions, and you got to understand they're going to try to influence you, and they're going to try to keep you safe, or they're going to try to bring you to a point where you're not challenging yourself, or you're not taking chances. Understand when you're tuning into this stuff, some of it is going to be overcoming aspects of fear. Some of it is going to be overcoming aspects of self-limiting beliefs. And that's part of the process. That's part of the growth. It's not always an easy process, but it's absolutely the best process we can take ourselves through.
This has circled my mind back to what I discovered over the weekend with doing the Sweat Lodge, and it's all about being your authentic self. And it all comes back to that. You can do so much, and it's almost like you're distancing yourself from who you are. It's about really just tuning inward and just acceptance and having self-love. And that's really what it is. Because, really it's about your own personal happiness. I always say, goes out in the physical reality. Maybe a mother cares about their baby, but most of the time you're on your own. It's like you have to take care of yourself and love yourself, because here we are. It's your own personal journey. All right, so I had someone that contacted me through socials saying that they were the one that I connected, and then they weren't there, but she was on mute, so she was talking, but I couldn't hear her. The very first caller.
No, she was on mute. Okay, so do we want to go through a quick little rundown of the elements and seeing the elements, or do we want to just finish it out with a reading? What do you want to do?
Are you talking about you wanted to do one of your some psychic development exercise?
Yeah,
Is that what
I was just going to take. Yeah, I was going to take everyone through a quick exercise.
Why don't we do that, and then we'll take her, and then we'll leave. That'll be the last caller for tonight. And everyone, I'm so sorry we couldn't get to you, but I have to take her after Michael does this.
Yeah, so I'm just going to take everyone through just a quick visualization.
Perfect.
And we're just dealing with, we're just going to simplify this, and we're just going to go with the 4 elements of fire, earth, air, and water. And what I want everyone to do is I'm going to speak a little bit about each element, and I'm going to take everyone through a small visualization, and we're going to see what comes into your mind, what resonates with you, and understand, fire is the element of life. Fire can give life, it can take life. It's closely associated with the sun, closely associated with summer. So earth, earth corresponds with midnight, with winter, with the new moon. It represents growth. It represents newness. So the air, we think about the air, youth, creativity. Water, think about, emotions, wisdom, peak moment, understanding the past, learning from the past. So these are just different aspects, elemental aspects to fire, earth, air, and water. But what I want everyone to do, I'm going to just slowly focus on the breath. I want everyone to focus on the fire, the sign of fire. Think of that, those flames and that fire in your mind's eye. Think about the fire. What resonates? What comes to you? Think about the earth, and think about the sand and the soil and the foliage and the trees and the flowers and the plants and everything that grows from the earth. Think about the air. Think about breathing that air in. Think about increase, expansion, creativity, youthfulness, things that are associated with air. And think about that air, just breathing that air in. Then think about the water. Think about the element of water. Think about the emotions and the wisdom that come with the age of water, and that timelessness, that peak livelihood, moving in cycles, the waves crashing, the waves pushing forward. So just think about that again. Go through and think about the flames of fire. Think about the sand and the rock and the foliage of the earth. Think about breathing in the air and breathing in that energy, that increase of the awareness, and the youthful exuberance and the creativity that come along with the air. And think about the water. Think about the water swishing over you and the emotions and the wisdom and what that represents, the water representing that movement. Now, when you think about the fire, the earth, the air, and water, just think about what resonates strongly with you. What are you pulled into? If you sit, you feel like you're sitting in the flames of the fire. Do you feel like that's renewing you? Do you feel like that's burning off the old, burning off that what does no longer serve you? Think about the earth. Think about your feet, just putting your feet in the sand, and you're grounding and you're renewing. How does that feel? How does sit in that earthly environment? How does that feel? How does that ground you? Think about the air, breathing in the air. Does that uplift you? Does it expand you? And again, the water, then think about the water. Think about the water washing away anything. Think about the ripples, the waves crashing through. Think about washing away anything that no longer serves you. And through those, what resonates with you the most? Does the feeling of the fire, the flames, the feeling of grounding into the earth, the feeling of breathing in the air, or the feeling of being washed away in the water? What connects you to that feeling or that sensation the strongest? Do you feel the flames? Do you feel the heat, the earth? Do you feel the grounding? Do you sense the air? you sense the water washing you away. What resonates with you the most? And now when we think about the fire, if you're being drawn into the fire, that's associated with strength, life force, purifying, protective, consuming impurities, driving back the darkness. So just think, what does that resonate? What does that mean to you? With the fire, the warm, dry air burning away what no longer serves us, consuming the impurities. The fire is very masculine. It's a very active energy. It's also associated with a lot the color red. Planets. It aligns with Mars. If we're looking at zodiac signs and you feel the flame represents you or you align with that, a lot of times you may be an Aries, you may be a Leo, you may be a Sagittarius. Those tend to align with the fire elements. So just think about that. Think about the air. Those of you that resonated with the air, you were breathing the air in, you felt like you resonated with that, you aligned with the air, the elements of the air. That element aligns with your energy. The air aligns with creativity, intelligence, beginnings. It's largely without permanent form. The air is also a masculine element. So just think of that. Think about uplifting, breathing in and releasing, breathing in creativity, breathing in an intangible without permanent form. Does that explain you? Do you like things spur of the moment? What drives you? And that can also resonate with the color yellow. Now, the funny thing is air obviously relates my sign, Aquarius. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, springtime, the color yellow, direction east. A lot of times people that resonate with that air energy, that air element, will be drawn to sunrises, drawn to the morning. So just think, does that resonate with you? Does that sit with you? So we talked a little bit about the fire. We talked a little about the air. Think about the water. Now, the water is an element that they say can calm and lift all the physical senses. It possesses motion and activity, movement, washing away. Now, the water is feminine. It's more passive, the color blue. If we look at dominant planets, Venus also resonates with the moon. Zodiac signs, if we're looking with water, that resonate with the water element, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Also, fall season and sunsets, very powerful energy to sit in, that energy of the sunset. So just know, you Scorpios, Pisces, and Cancers, you may resonate with that water element. And the earth. And then we're thinking about the stability, the groundedness, fertility, potential. These are all things of the element of beginnings. The earth can create. It's a rebirth. Think about the feminine energy around that. This is also a passive energy. When we're being drawn into a color, the color of green is always prominent. The planet Saturn is prominent with this. Seasons of winter, time of day, midnight. Midnight is a very powerful energy cycle for those that resonate with the energy of the earth, the elements of the earth. And though this could be with the Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn signs. So again, just sit with those energies and see where they resonate and see where they lead you. And depending on which one you resonate with, may be able to tell you a lot about yourself, a lot about your psychic abilities when we kind of go into that and we read a little bit more about it. Yeah, so that's one of the psychic guiding moment of elements and how they interchange into our physical senses, our color senses, our zodiac sign, and all that other good stuff. So, Mary Amy.
That was amazing. I love that. And I have to tell you, oh my gosh, I literally yawned 20 times because it just put me in this other state. I don't even know, like it was amazing. I'm going to have to play that back a million times. I loved it. And I did realize I recognize where I have fear. I recognize what I feel closest to and what I don't know. It just brought me somewhere else. And I also was activating, and I was hearing buzzing, and then I heard frequency, and I was trying to telepathically talk to you. This whole thing going on. Oh, my gosh. Did you hear what I was saying?
Setting up all those activations.
You activated.
So I think,
okay, let's
I
bring
think we have
her
5
on.
minutes
We have
left.
6 minutes. Yeah.
6
So we'll
minutes.
bring her on. Here we go. Before we go. Next week, we have Julie Clark, Angelic Channeler. If I don't get to say that, June 27th. That will be episode 22. Here we go. Let's see.
Hi there, guys.
Hi, this is
Can you hear
Michael.
me?
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks so much for taking my call. I did say hello. I was not no, but I wasn't muted. I said was I thought I was muted, but I wasn't. So I'm like, why isn't anybody? Yeah, but that's okay. So I know we have a few. My name is Valerie.
Valerie.
Hi, Valerie.
So
Hi.
Valerie, so give us your name real slow. We're going to connect to your energy and give us your questions.
Okay, Valerie. And for like 2 minutes, can you just tell me if I have anything coming through, and then for the last minute, I'll ask you what I have to ask, if that's okay.
All right. So Valerie, let's see. So I am. All right. So the interesting thing, just in your energy field, I'm just going to open this up real quick. So initially I hear San Antonio or I'm being drawn to San Antonio as a significant space for you, but I'm also seeing California. Now, where are you calling us from?
New York State. You're
calling us from New York State? Okay, so you're on our end. Now, San Antonio. I don't know why I would be being pulled
No
to
clue.
What's that?
I said I have no clue.
Not sure either. I'm just telling you that's in your energy field.
Yeah.
But I'm also seeing California. So I don't know what the tie or the connection to California is, or something's going to be pulling you into California or near there, or there's a family connection to California. I'm not sure.
No.
Okay, not sure why that's coming through pretty your energy field. Now, there's also, I'm getting is there a Leo, a Leonard, so L? Who's the L? Who's the L name that's around you? Now, this person could either be in spirit or connected to you here, but I'm seeing the L as a significant initial around you.
I have a sister named Lenore.
Ah, Lenore. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lenore is coming through, yeah. So then that's what they're giving me. So that's your collective is talking about Lenore. Now, I don't know if there's something specifically that she's dealing with right now, but they want to bring my attention to her in regard to you. Would there be a specific reason why they're bringing my attention to Lenore?
The only thing I can think of is I was just out there visiting for my nephew's high school graduation, and she, I think, is struggling with the fact that he's going off to college.
Okay. I think just your collective, right? They know
and his name is George.
How cool is that? His name is George. Yeah, George the G is a big connector tonight. So they are showing me Lynn. So I think your collective just wants to acknowledge you were there, you were around her, they were with you. Now I definitely feel like I'm getting male energy. Now dad's in spirit, is that correct?
No, my dad's here.
There's male. Okay, so I'm getting this. There's heavy dominated male energy, and there's someone that was either around boats or a Navy sailor. Who was Grandpa a sailor?
No.
There's something dealing with boats or sailor or Navy around male side, dad's side of the family. So there's definitely some kind of military connection there, or something around boating, boats, merchant marine, something. So I'm not sure. But Mary Amy, what are you getting around the?
Okay, hi Valerie. All right, this is what I received. Hi. I immediately received. I saw clouds, big puffy clouds. And that is a sign of events to come. A birthday party that you're attending. Also, I saw a string of pearls. You have a love for luxury items, but it also represents personal growth and nurturing. And you have a need to escape reality. And that's what I got.
I am doing a lot of growing, actually.
Are you? Well, that's wonderful. We are so happy that you are. That's okay. Before you go, we have a question because we have 1 minute.
Yep. Okay. My question is regarding a gentleman. I just want to know what you see, with the two of us. Do you need a name or no?
Well, the two of who?
You and a significant other? You in a relationship? So no, you don't need
No.
you don't need to give a name for that. But what's interesting is I'm getting the 11th. So I don't know what the significance is to the 11th as a date, November 11th. I feel like I'm hearing around that. But I'm also getting December 13th. Can you take either of those dates as significant to you?
Not off the top.
Okay, just remember those two dates, November 11th, December 13th. They are going to be two significant dates for you.
Pertaining to him?
I'm not sure. It's in your collective. It's in your energy field. So this could be around a relationship that you're asking or significant in the energy field.
Standing next to him like paper dolls, and you have your hands like you're holding hands with him. So I sense that it's very important, this relationship to you. I don't know about from his perspective.
Okay. I mean, do you feel I'll be getting contact from him?
Okay, I think we're off the air.
We are off the air, so we'll just ride this out for a minute. That's fine.